Hello and welcome to another video. So today we are solving another question based on array, and it is one of the easy questions from the lead code. And let's begin. So let me just zoom in so it's more visible. Okay, so the question is a single number. So what we are given in the question is we are given an non-empty array with integers nums. That's the name of the array. Every element appears twice except for one. Okay, so find that single one. You must implement the solution with linear runtime complexity and use only extra space. Okay, so we are allowed to use, okay, sorry, only, so we need to use only constant extra space. So we can't use extra space. Uh, the space complexity should be O of 1 and the runtime should be linear, that is O of n. Okay, so here they have given one of the examples. So like 2 to 1. So that's the array that's been given. And from this array, we need to return that number that is just repeated once. Oh, sorry, that is not repeated. That number we need to return. So from the second example, we could see like 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1 is repeated, 2 is repeated, and 4 is not repeated. So we need to return this. Okay, and here this number is not repeated. We return that number. Okay, so what would be our approach on this? Let's go to the notepad. So these are the input that we have considered, that it's a non-empty array. Every element appears twice except for one. So we're considering this condition and we need to print that number. Okay, so the solution, we need to return in linear time and constant space. So what we could do, if this condition was not given, uh, we could use the brute force method, that was from 1 to n and then I plus 1 to n. We could see if that number is repeated, then that's totally fine. We could increment, we could go to the next iteration. Else, if that number is not repeated, then we could return that number. Okay, and for this, time complexity would have been O of n square, and the space would have been used only O of 1. So another method is bit manipulation. So I didn't knew about the bit manipulation. So here's a bit of a theory regarding that. So if any number, let's say any number, let's say uh, 10 is XORed with 0, then it returns the same number. So this would be used later. So this is one of the, like you could say, formulas that we need to know about XOR. Okay, and if a number is XORed with the number itself, then it returns 0. Okay, so using these two principles, we could see that, let's say in the array we had elements 1, 2, 3, and again 1, 2. Okay, so if we have encountered this number, okay, and we XOR this with let's say 2, then it will give us some other result. Okay, but if this sometime in this array we XOR this number with the number itself, then it would be returning 0. Okay, so the better example would be here if we use one. Let's say it's a sorted one. Okay, so if this is the value of a, and then again the counter has been incremented, and we XOR this value with this, then we would get 0. And if we XOR this result with the next element, then it would return the same element. Okay, if it's 0 XORed with any number, we get the number itself. Okay, so similarly, if we XOR this number again with the next element, if that element is same, then we would get 0. And if this is XORed with this number, then we would get the number itself. Okay, so now from this we could see we are getting the number that is not repeated in this whole array. Okay, so if there is any number in this array that is not repeated, then this number would be returned if we use the XOR technique. Yeah, okay. So let's go to our editor and see the solution for this. Okay, so here you could see in the solution we have taken the initial value of a as 0. You could take any temporary number, and what we are going to do is we need to XOR that number with the elements present in the array. So after XORing each number with a, we would be getting a 0 if that like if everything was repeated, then we would be getting 0, else we would be getting the number that is not repeated. So it was a pretty simple uh, technique that was bit manipulation, but it's quite tricky and need to be remembered. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.